Now, I want to talk about Jeff Hardy.
My hero.
Just an unbelievable performer. What's your take on Jeff as a single as opposed to in a tag team with Matt? I think the Hardys are one of the best tag teams of all time. But I think Jeff, I mean, you can make an argument for him as a single for being one of the best of his generation.
Oh, absolutely. You know, it's funny. And I don't mean this with any malice, but every time they try to write Jeff off, Jeff comes back. You kids can't.
That sounds familiar, doesn't it?
No, but I'm saying, you know, if they'll put Jeff in a scenario where he gets beat one day, you'll think, why'd they do that, right? And then 3 weeks later, he's back out there, and they put him in a scenario where he's winning. And, you know, even though that, you know, for a guy that's such a fan of Jeff's, I don't see ever there being that lull or that slump, because I think Jeff is so great. I mean, the two bumps that are the most impressive bumps I've ever seen in my life, which is, once again, saying a lot, is Foley with Undertaker with the cage, right? Boom. And I don't mean the one on the table. The one where he went through and his teeth went through his lips and all that. And then the other was Edge spearing Jeff Hardy in midair off the ladders.
Oh, unbelievable.
Unbelievable. I saw that and I went, my God. And I've seen some shit. I mean, that was some serious shit. And Jeff, you know, I had Jeff on the podcast before. We'll grab him for one of these coming up in the future. But that kid has done some incredible stuff. And now look at Edge coming back now. Edge, I think Edge is better right now than he was before he retired.
I think you might be right, because I think when a guy like him comes back and has some time off and is working a limited schedule and can kind of like boil everything he does down into just, you know, a match here and there, I think that bodes well. I think history's proven that, and not just with Edge.
Yeah, I think Edge could work a full schedule, though. I mean, I know his contract doesn't call for that, but that kid's got himself in great shape. He looks good. His interviews are some of the best. His interviews now are better than I think at any time in his career. I mean, I love the stuff Edge is doing. I can't get enough of him.
Well, one thing that the Hardys did, and that Jeff in particular did, and I'm not sure if it's the case now because, you know, obviously Jeff's been around for a number of decades, but the Hardys appealed to kids.
Yes.
And one thing that I don't think, and Nate, I mean this very sincerely, because I work in real media, you know what I mean? And I think that gives me a different perspective. I don't think any wrestling company has ever taken somebody that appealed to kids and marketed that properly. I just don't think they get how to do it. I don't think they get how to capitalize on it. And I think the Hardys are evidence of that. I think a more recent example, when Bayley did the gimmick with the side pony when she first started out, and you saw little girls in the crowd with the side pony,
yeah,
they should have perpetuated that as long as they could. And instead, it seemed like they couldn't get away from it fast enough.
But I know Bayley pretty well. I think it was her idea.
Well, then it was a bad idea.
Well, but here's the thing. Bayley is one of these people that not only is a hell of a worker, but she can facilitate whatever role they put her in, she's damn good at. The stuff that she did with Bianca Belair, where they were matching to have the test of strength or whatever it was a couple years ago, when Bianca first came up, I thought was some of the best stuff. I mean, you know, for two athletes, but you know, we all agree you have to have some entertainment in the show, and the stuff between Bayley and Bianca Belair was really entertaining.
I 100% agree.
I'm a big fan of Bayley. She just wanted to turn heel.
Yeah, it was a bad move. I'm going to be blunt. I mean, you can't. That kid's appeal is organic. And you have to milk that as long as you can. One last thing about Jeff Hardy. Even though they're in different companies now, don't you think the Hardys will finish up as a team somewhere? I don't know where, but somewhere.
Well, I don't think Jeff will ever leave WWE.
So you think Matt would have to go there for that to happen?
Oh, I don't know that they'll ever end up together. I can't predict that. I talk to Beth and Jeff, you know, once a month, maybe twice a month. We're really close friends, and I don't see or talk to Matt as much. I see him once in a while, but it's not like, man, I've had more, shocker, I know you hate it when I say this, but I've had more fun with the Hardys on those overseas tours.
Oh, no, the Hardys are great. I mean,
you have no idea. I smoked cigarettes with Jeff Hardy out on the balcony. 3 a.m. when everybody else was sound asleep. I said, Jeff, I'm 57 years old. Why am I smoking a cigarette with you out here on the balcony?
Well, it's funny. I communicate with Matt mostly through Twitter, and you know, I remember when they were the new kids, and you know, I met them, and they were like, and now, you know, I'm older and they're old too. But hey, time marches on. One last guy I want to talk about before we get to some.
Let's just look. I love both Matt and Jeff.
No question. Me too.
And my final analysis of that, I just want them both to be happy.
No question.
And I hope they end up together.
And they are awesome performers. No question. Awesome.